I'm Dorothy Bonvillain, and I've written an article with you in mind about designing the life of your dreams. Do you realize that you're the designer and creator of your life? You know, so often we think that we're just sort of victims of life, you know, and that we can't really be the designer. But I'm here to tell you you can. You know, one of the things that I wasn't aware of in my younger years is the importance of having a coach and a mentor. If I could go back, I would have hired a personal coach early on to really help me get from where I was to where I wanted to go. You know, for example, when I was a little girl, I'll never forget, you know, I would lay out on the front lawn of our home and I would look up at the clouds and I would see these clouds drifting by. And I had a great imagination. I would jump on the cloud and I would just follow that cloud, take that cloud all over the world, and I'd go to exciting places and do really exciting things. But you know, somehow inside I didn't really think as just a small town Texas girl that those things were really possible for me. But I've learned that they are. And so I wish I would have had somebody come along and really raise my awareness level and hold me accountable and teach me things, say, I'll go along with you and I'll share the things I've learned along the way. That's why I'm here. I've written, I actually have 7 steps, but in the article that I have for you, I give you 3 of those. And I call them steps because I've taken a shoe analogy and I've tied it to each one of those steps because I thought, okay, learning needs to be fun. So what would make it fun for women to read these steps? And I thought about shoes. Most women like shoes. So I have a shoe analogy that I've tied to each step. For example, the first one is personal growth. Step 1. Do you have a personal growth plan? I'll never forget the first time someone asked me, do you have a personal growth plan? I was like, well, I set goals. But no, that's not enough. You really need to put a plan in place for how to get from where you are to where, if you waved a magic wand, what would your life look like? What are the details of that? And how do you get there? So I've really given you some very, very practical tools in this designing the life of your dreams to get you from where you are, where you want to be. I give you like a 1-week goal setting. I give you a chart for that. I also give you a chart for how to build SMART goals. Because SMART goals work. They are specific, they're measurable, they are attainable. You know, they're not just somewhere out there pie in the sky. You can attain them. Are they relevant to the outcome? And the T is for time bound. You give yourself a time limit so that you hold yourself accountable to getting it finished. I'll also talk about reward therapy because so often, you know, we work hard and we achieve something, but we don't take time to celebrate or reward ourselves. So you actually build that into your goal. That way it makes it fun and there's a reward at the end. The next step has to do with relationships. Now, with that first one, we talked about house shoes because they're comfortable and it's so easy to stay in the comfort zone and not make a personal growth plan and then hold yourself accountable for that. Then the second one is relationships, and the analogy I use there are combat boots. Why combat boots? Even if you have a great relationship with someone, relationships can sometimes get difficult and sticky. And so I use combat boots because we really have to go into combat sometime to have someone else understand what it is that we really want to do. What makes our heart sing? And so in relationships, you know, it's very much as important as it is your personal growth. I'll never forget, I had a friend who was well into his 80s and he was ill. And I was over visiting him one day. And I asked him, Mr. Cathell, what's the most important thing you've learned along the way? And you know, his answer was immediate. He didn't even have to think about it. He said it's relationships. It's very important. At the end of your life, it's all that really matters. So in this article, I give you some practical tools for relationships, and I talk about how important the inner circle is. You know, your inner circle are the 5 people you spend the most time with. Great quote from Jim Rohn. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Wow. When I heard that, I thought, who are those people who are influencing me? Are they a positive in helping me move from where I am to where I want to go as I took those clouds and went to exotic places? Or are they a negative and they want me to stay in my comfort zone and they're holding me back? So I talk about that. And I give you also a life cycle graph that I tie to seasons. And I think you'll find it really valuable, sort of like going from being a seedling to a strong oak tree and really living into your dreams. So they'll talk about those in relationships. And I give you practical tools for developing really positive relationships. I give you a chart, what's a healthy relationship and what's an unhealthy relationship. Finally, step 3 is finances. And you know, finances, I'm not a math person, so finances are not something that I particularly enjoy, but I've learned so very much how important they are. And I tie to our finances, you have to have dressy boots or shoes, because you've got to present yourself well. You have to be self-confident. You have to be comfortable in your own skin. And you have to give the appearance that you know that you want to go from here to where you want to be. So, it's important to know that in making a first impression only takes 7 seconds. 7 seconds before someone draws conclusions about you that are very difficult to change. So I give you some tools and techniques for investing early, for putting a growth plan in place for your finances, for doing an annual financial review, just like you need to do an annual people review for relationships. And so I have 7 steps on my website. I give you 3 in the article. I encourage you to go to my website and you will read my story, and I call it Wall of Fire. And it's about my challenges, overcoming fears, and living into my life of my dreams. So I hope to see you there. If you sign on, you can get the 7 steps overview, and also you will get on my email support group where I will respond to you often and you can ask me questions. I would love to join you on your journey to live the life of your dreams. So come and join me, DorothyBonVillen.com. I look forward to seeing you there. I salute you to becoming all that you dream of being. Thanks, Dr. Dorothy.